Hey guys, Phoebe or CF for life here. I just wanted to give you a little insight on what my life is like. Oh, and by the way, excuse the lighting, it's not that great, but anyway. I have a disease called cystic fibrosis or CF. It's genetic, which means both of my parents had to have the CF gene for me to get it. There are many mutations, and I have double F508, and the most common mutation of CF is F508. Anyway, people with cystic fibrosis basically have thicker than normal mucus, and it clogs up most of their body's organs, including the respiratory and digestive tracts, liver, kidneys, male and female organs, so the reproduction organs, GI system, meaning stomach and intestines, bones, and anything really. People often think that CF is just like asthma, and to be honest, it's not, because with CF you have to do a lot more than you have to do with asthma, and plus most people with CF have asthma anyway. And people also think they understand when they have a cold, and to let you guys know now, they don't, because a cold is nothing compared to CF, and for us, a cold could turn into a life-threatening lung infection. So yeah, also with CF you can have CFRD, cystic fibrosis diabetes. It's a type of diabetes that you can only get with CF. I was diagnosed with it at 10 years of age. When I was diagnosed, only 10% of CFs were diagnosed with it. Now it's 50%. And basically, it's got both the characteristics of type 1 and type 2, but only people with CF get it. You can also get CF-related osteoporosis, arthritis, liver disease, kidney stones, which I have, all kinds of things. People often wonder, can you catch CF? You can't, because to get CF, it's genetic, so your parents have to have the gene for you to get it, and you were born with it. Another thing that I often get asked is it curable? The answer to that is no. People also often think that a transplant will cure CF. The answer to that is no, because it affects most of the cells in the body, and what has to be cured is the faulty gene that the parents carry for you to get CF. So the day in the life of a CF, basically, I wake up in the morning, I have one of my capsules, or I have two of them actually, and I have to have them half an hour before I eat, and I have to have them on an empty stomach. And then I do my physiotherapy, which is a PET mask, and it's got like a gauge, and we have to breathe into it for so many seconds. And I also have nebulizers as well. Then during the day I have many supplements and snacks, and I always have my meals. I never skip meals or anything like that. And I have to do this because we lose weight like a lot, and for us it could lead to hospital and all that sort of stuff. So I have to like make sure I keep up with that. And before I eat, every time before I eat, I have to take pancreatic enzymes, because my pancreas doesn't absorb fat properly, because we lose fat through our skin. During the day, I also take laxatives for my bowel, because my bowel doesn't work properly. I take vitamins. I take all these other types of capsules and stuff to fight infection and to get rid of bugs in my lungs, which never really happens, and all that sort of stuff. I'd have to say during the day, I take about 100 capsules, and I've got about 40 different medications. And that's just in the morning and the afternoon. Then at night, I again do my physio and take a whole bunch of medications and do my nebulizers. And I'm also on oxygen a lot as well. Okay, so with hospital, we have to do, when we need to go into hospital, we have to do physio like 3 or 4 times a day. Basically in hospital, it's a period of 2 weeks, and you have a PICC line or port, and a PICC line is a line that goes up into the heart and it gives you intravenous antibiotics. And a port is if you're way sicker than that. If you go in like every few weeks or every couple months and it gets too hard on your veins and you can't really have PICC lines anymore. And at the moment I have PICC lines, but I think eventually I'll probably need a port because I have a lot of problems with my drips. And you go in for 2 weeks basically, and they pump you full of antibiotics to try and fight your infections. Basically a simple cold can lead us into that, so like it's life-threatening. But people often ask what I think of hospital, and I'd have to say I've made a lot of my best friends at the hospital, and it's not that boring because of that, but also because I get along well with my nurses. I love my nurses and they are amazing. And so yeah. And also every few weeks I go in for a specialist appointment, and basically we get our weight and our height. We have to do a lung function test to check our lung function, and sometimes we also have to do like blood tests and all that sort of stuff. And with my hospital, every year we have an annual checkup. So as well as doing all that, we have to go in and do the scans we need. We need bone density scans, MRIs, ultrasounds, all that sort of stuff. And so yeah, that's basically what my life is like. And people often wonder what I think of CF, and they ask me, and my response is, I like having CF. I know people might think that's weird, liking having a disease that clogs up your body's organs with mucus and is life-threatening, but if it weren't for having my disease, I wouldn't have made most of my best friends, and I wouldn't be me. And I wouldn't know life any other way, but I always hope and pray for a cure one day. And I just hope that I'll be able to grow old and have a family and maybe even publish my story. And so will you help me make that dream possible? You can help me, and I would honestly appreciate that. So just subscribe and send me a friend request, and if you have any questions, just comment on this. And yeah, thank you so much for listening, and see ya!